back, and there's blood all over the floor in the living room.
A relationship ends.
I'm not stalking you.
You left our kids to come here in the middle of the night. I saw your car.
And a dangerous game begins.
You have a missing man, a man who has disappeared, who hasn't been in contact with his family, just dropped off the face of the earth.
They called him Houdini because he made a body disappear. A father of two vanishes. No remains, no confession, no peace. But blood doesn't lie. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Every follow helps us bring untold stories like this one to light. Welcome to Mystery in Minutes. May 19th, 2020, Kenosha, Wisconsin. Sadie Boom stands at the doorstep of her boyfriend's apartment. Something feels off. His car's in the driveway. The screen door is open. No answer. She knocks, calls his name. Nothing. With trembling hands, she pulls back the blinds, and the world shifts beneath her feet.
Kenosha 911, what's the address for emergency?
15th Street. I was doing a wellness check on a good friend of mine that I was dating, and I found it weird because I haven't talked to him for like 24 hours. And I just went to his house. You know, I kept calling his name and knocking on the windows and knocking on the doors, and the screen door is like wide open.
And what's his name?
Rosalio Gutierrez. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm kind of freaking out.
The man is Rosalio Gutierrez Jr., a kind-hearted Chicago Cubs fan, a doting father, a construction worker with a smile that softened rooms. And now, he's missing. Police arrive and immediately secure the scene. What they find is chilling. Blood splatter from floor to ceiling, no sign of forced entry. But one detail sticks out. There's a large, clean outline on the floor. A missing rug. Detectives begin to piece the scene together. Blood where someone likely collapsed. Drag marks. A struggle, but no body, no weapon, just blood and silence. Sadie is hysterical. Not only has she just discovered a crime scene, she knows exactly who might be responsible. Sadie had broken up with her longtime partner, Zachariah Anderson, months before. The two shared 3 kids together. Their relationship was rocky, filled with on-again, off-again arguments, accusations, police calls, and eventually, fear. She moved on. She found Rosalio. But Zachariah, he didn't move on. He watched, he waited, and according to Sadie, he began stalking.
I'm not stalking you.
You left our kids to come here in the middle of the night. I saw your car.
He even allegedly placed a phone in an air vent in her house, just to listen in. But there's more. Sadie's teenage daughter, Olivia, tells detectives that her father once brought her to spy on her mother. He made her cover her face to avoid fogging up the glass as she peered through a window. She says he bragged about watching from outside. She didn't understand it then, but she does now. She remembers something else. Zachariah took Rosalio's vehicle registration. When asked why, he said something about having him followed for fun. And suddenly, all roads lead to him. Later that same day, police arrest Zachariah Anderson for stalking. During questioning, he denies everything. He shifts, stutters, spins stories. I didn't kill anybody, he says. I didn't stalk anybody. He insists, but his own daughter's testimony says otherwise. That night, detectives search his home. In the backyard, a fire pit, still smoldering. Odd considering it had been raining heavily for 4 straight days. Inside the pit, partially burned clothes, a melted bleach bottle, the unmistakable scent of something darker. Inside the home, over $47 in cash. Electronics, drugs, and the most suspicious item of all, a minivan. When detectives open the van, a wave of bleach stings their nostrils. The rear carpeting is torn out. The floor glows under forensic light. And tucked inside a panel, something small, something almost missed, a speck, blood. Later, that blood is confirmed to belong to Rosalio Gutierrez. And Zachariah? He swore he never met the man. For investigators in Kenosha, Wisconsin, this wasn't just another missing person case. This was a puzzle with no body, no weapon, and no clear timeline. But one thing was certain, something horrific happened inside Rosalio Gutierrez's apartment. And the person who knew exactly what was pretending to know nothing at all. The purchases? 2 bottles of bleach, 2 boxes of trash bags, latex gloves, innocent cleaning spree, or something far darker. Surveillance footage confirmed it. Zachariah entered the store alone, paid in cash, and left quickly. That same day, his backyard fire pit was blazing. despite nearly 6 inches of rainfall across 4 days. Inside the pit, scorched clothing and a half-melted bleach container told a silent story. By now, investigators were convinced this was no accident, and Rosalio wasn't simply missing. He was gone, likely murdered. But where was his body? If they couldn't find him, would they even have a case? Detectives canvassed the city. Every dumpster had been emptied. Surveillance footage was scarce. They searched hospitals in surrounding counties. They checked landfills, storage units, abandoned lots. Then came a lead. A friend of Anderson's mentioned he'd been working with Zachariah near a large wooded park in Belgium, Wisconsin. The park included an old quarry turned deep water pond, isolated, overgrown, and the perfect place to hide something you never wanted found. Divers scoured it. Cadaver dogs sniffed every inch. But the water gave up no secrets. Then came another location. Anderson's family tree farm. Dozens of officers from multiple agencies arrived. This wasn't a basic search. It was one of the largest multi-agency efforts in Wisconsin's recent history. They brought drones, ground-penetrating radar, anthropologists, cadaver dogs. The dogs alerted strongly on a second burn pit. But when investigators sifted through the ashes, what they found wasn't human. The remains belonged to an animal. Still, they couldn't shake the feeling. Something had been burned here. Something important, and they were running out of time. The turning point didn't come from evidence. It came from Olivia, Zachariah's 14-year-old daughter. She had been quiet at first, scared. But over time, she found her voice, and what she said changed everything. She told detectives her father used her as a spy, that he took her, his own daughter, on covert stakeouts, that he watched her mother through windows, that he left phones hidden in air vents. And most damning of all, she remembered the day he took Rosalio's registration from his truck. He wasn't just watching, he was planning. One quote from Olivia stopped everyone cold. Dad said, "Once it's gone, it's gone." He had said it about trash. But detectives knew he meant something else. Police searched Anderson's laptop. Inside was a folder labeled with Rosalio's full name. It contained dozens of photos, screenshots of social media posts, business records from Rosalio's construction company. Pictures of him with his children, alone, laughing, living. This wasn't just stalking, it was obsession. Why would a man who never met Rosalio have a digital scrapbook of his life? Why would he have photos of the victim's car title? Zachariah had answers for everything, just not the truth. With no remains, prosecutors had to answer the toughest question of all. How do you prove someone is dead without a body? It's rare, but not impossible. The key is behavior, patterns. Rosalio was a devoted father, a present son. In the days after his disappearance, his phone went silent. Bank accounts froze, credit cards remained untouched, social media never lit up again. He never reached out to his mother, never saw his children again, never touched a dime of his earnings. People don't just vanish like that, especially not people like Rosalio. The final blow came from the blood found in the van. It wasn't just blood, it was his. And Zachariah had no logical reason for it to be there. He claimed he never met the man. So how did Rosalio Gutierrez's DNA end up inside Anderson's minivan? In the pursuit of truth, sometimes the loudest voice is the smallest. It wasn't forensics, it wasn't surveillance, it wasn't a confession. It was the quiet, trembling voice of a 14-year-old girl. Her name is Olivia Anderson, and she's about to take the stand against her own father. February 28, 2023, after nearly 3 years of delays caused by the pandemic, the trial of Zachariah Anderson begins. Charged with first-degree intentional homicide, 2 counts of stalking, hiding a corpse. The courtroom is tense. Prosecutors know what they're up against. This is a no-body murder case, extremely difficult to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. But they have a witness no one expected. Zachariah's teenage daughter. She enters the courtroom with her head down, flanked by officials. Cameras are forbidden, she's a minor, but everyone can feel it. This isn't just testimony, it's trauma, finally breaking free. She does not refer to him as Dad, and when the prosecutor asks her name, she answers clearly, Olivia Anderson. The room leans in as she begins to speak. She tells the jury about the night her father brought her, a 12-year-old girl at the time, to spy on her own mother and her mother's new boyfriend, Rosalio Gutierrez. He told her to cover her mouth and nose with her shirt, so she wouldn't fog up the window. He made her crouch, stay low, be quiet. Before you do anything, she recalls him saying, pull your shirt up like this so no one sees your breath. The courtroom is stunned. She demonstrates the gesture, pulling her shirt over her face, just as he taught her. Even seasoned detectives watching from the gallery shift uncomfortably. The manipulation, the preparation, the weaponizing of his own daughter. Anderson didn't just stalk his ex, he trained his child to help him do it. As Olivia continues, her voice shakes. I didn't know how hard this would be, she says, breaking down in tears. A brief recess is called. The judge offers water. The court slows its pace, not out of formality, but because everyone in that room understands the weight of what's happening. This isn't just testimony. It's a child testifying about being a pawn in a game of obsession and violence. We went home after. He told me to sleep. But I kept thinking, did I really just see what I saw? Did that just happen? The trauma bleeds through every word. But then, something eerie. As Olivia testifies, courtroom observers and later the prosecution note a chilling moment. Zachariah Anderson, sitting at the defense table, appears to gesture toward his daughter. Multiple times, his hand moves subtly across his face, signaling something. It looks like he's telling her to stay quiet. Whether he meant to intimidate or silence her is unclear, but for the jury, the meaning is obvious. This man, already accused of manipulation and control, was trying to influence a witness. His own daughter. It was one of the most disturbing moments of the trial. Your dad is unpredictable, Olivia once said during a pretrial interview. I don't know what he's capable of. Now the world could see what she meant. The defense doesn't waste the opportunity. They quickly turn their attention to Sadie Bohm, Olivia's mother and Zachariah's ex, who is sitting in the gallery. Were you communicating with your daughter during her testimony? The defense asks. Sadie admits she might have made a sound, an instinctive shh gesture when Olivia got sassy on the stand. But the courtroom knows the difference. A mother reacting emotionally to her daughter's testimony is human. A father making coded gestures to silence a witness? That's something else entirely. Olivia's testimony continues. She talks about her father's surveillance, phones hidden in vents, registrations taken from Rosalio's vehicle, conversations overheard late at night. She paints a picture not just of a jealous ex, but of a man consumed. Her words give context to the Walmart receipt. The bleach, the trash bags, the torn-up carpet, the fire pit. It's the voice of someone who didn't need to see the murder to know it happened. He said once it's gone, she recalls. He said they call him Houdini because he made a body disappear. Her testimony is so detailed, so emotionally raw, that the courtroom forgets she's a child. But she is. And for many in attendance, Olivia Anderson is the most powerful piece of evidence they've heard. By the time Olivia steps down, the courtroom is changed. The jury has not just heard about obsession, stalking, and disappearance. They've felt it through the words of a girl who lived it. What does it mean for a child to testify against her own father? It means everything. It means the justice system sometimes rests on the courage of the innocent. And it means Rosalio Gutierrez, though silenced, still speaks through the people he left behind. No weapon, no body, no confession, at least not to the police. But behind prison walls stripped of control, a man finally talks. And when he does, what spills from his mouth is darker than anyone imagined. It's the third week of the trial against Zachariah Anderson, a father of 3, now accused of brutally murdering the man who dared to love his ex-girlfriend. Prosecutors have built a case on fragments, a bloody scene with no body, a van that smells of bleach, a smoldering pit, a daughter's haunting testimony. But now, they bring forward something new. A man who shared a cell with Anderson while he was awaiting trial. A man named Moran Washington. Washington takes the stand, calm, collected, and clear. His testimony is damning. He told me he stabbed the guy, said he blacked out. Then he wrapped the body in garbage bags, threw it out like trash. The courtroom is frozen. Prosecutors lean in. They've been waiting for this moment. Washington continues. I asked him where he put the body, and he said, once it's gone, it's gone. That phrase, once it's gone, had already been said by Olivia Anderson, his own daughter. She'd overheard him say it months before. Now, a jailhouse witness echoes the same chilling line. Coincidence? Or confirmation? Then came the most unforgettable detail. They called him Houdini Washington said, because he made a body disappear. It wasn't just a boast, it was a signature. Anderson's lawyers tried everything. They said the case lacked physical evidence. They argued there was no murder weapon, no body, no eyewitnesses, no direct proof. But what the prosecution had was pattern. A pattern of stalking, a pattern of control, a pattern of obsession, and a digital trail that connected Anderson directly to the man he swore he never met. They had Rosalio's blood in Anderson's van. They had surveillance footage of Anderson buying bleach and trash bags the day after Rosalio vanished. They had a fire pit that burned for days despite relentless rain. And now they had a confession, uncoerced, unsolicited, and terrifying. After 4 weeks of testimony, the jury is sent to deliberate. They don't take long. Zachariah Anderson is found guilty on all 4 counts. First-degree intentional homicide, stalking Sadie Boom, stalking Rosalio Gutierrez, hiding a corpse. The courtroom erupts in quiet sobs. The victim's family wears Chicago Cubs blue, Rosalio's favorite team. His mother clutches a framed photo of her son. His children, too young to understand the full weight of what's been lost, are comforted by relatives. But no one cheers, because justice doesn't feel like victory. Not when the victim is still missing. Before sentencing, Rosalio's mother steps forward to speak. Her voice is steady, but every word is soaked in sorrow. My only son, taken so savagely. Mr. Anderson did not know my boy, yet he took him from us, from his children, and he hid his body. He robbed us not just of Rosalio's life, but of a grave, a goodbye. She asks for the maximum sentence, life in prison without parole. Then, Olivia Anderson, the girl who helped crack the case, addresses the court. This time, she speaks not just as a witness, but as a daughter betrayed. This is for you, Dad. To this day I wonder, did you ever love me? Or was I just a pawn? You made me feel like your golden retriever, your little toy. You took advantage of me and you'll never have my respect again. The courtroom is silent. Even the judge pauses before responding. When asked if he has anything to say, Zachariah speaks one last time. On the witness stand, Marin Washington, Anderson's former cellmate, delivers the final nail. He told me he stabbed the guy, said he blacked out. Then he wrapped the body in garbage bags and threw it out like trash. When Washington pressed him for clarity, Anderson allegedly smirked and said, "Once it's gone, it's gone." And then the kicker. "They called me Houdini," Anderson told him, "because I made a body disappear." That name, Houdini, had already been mentioned by Zachariah's daughter, Olivia. The chilling consistency between father and cellmate left little room for doubt. After 4 weeks of intense testimony and evidence, the jury deliberates. It doesn't take long. In March 2023, Zachariah Anderson is found guilty on all 4 counts: first-degree intentional homicide, stalking Sadie Boom, stalking Rosalio Gutierrez, hiding a corpse. In the courtroom, tears mix with silence. Rosalio's family members grip one another tightly, some wearing Chicago Cubs colors in memory of his favorite team. His children sit quietly, their faces searching the room for meaning. There are no cheers, because even with justice, there's no peace. May 16th, 2023, Sentencing Day. The courtroom reconvenes nearly 2 months later. May 16th, 2023, a date Rosalio's family will never forget. This is the day they finally hear Zachariah Anderson's sentence. But first, the victims speak. Rosalio's mother steps forward. Her voice is heavy but unwavering. "My only son, taken with such rage." Mr. Anderson didn't even know my boy. He didn't care that he had children. He didn't care that he had a mother. He didn't care that we would have no body to bury. He erased my son from this world and tried to erase the memory of him too. She asks the court for the maximum sentence, life in prison without parole. Then Olivia Anderson stands. The girl who exposed the truth now faces the man who caused her years of pain. "This is for you, Dad. You made me your pawn. You told me what to see, what to say, what to believe. I wonder now if you ever loved me at all. You took everything from us, and you'll never get my respect again." Even the courtroom security lowers their eyes. Her words carry the weight of 3 years of fear, confusion, and courage. When it's his turn, Zachariah Anderson speaks not with remorse, but with defiance. "I didn't kill anybody," he says. "I didn't stalk anyone. I didn't hide a corpse. I'm innocent." But no one in that courtroom believes him, especially not the jury, and especially not the judge. Judge Bruce Schroeder, the longest-serving circuit court judge in Wisconsin's history, delivers the sentence. Zachariah Anderson, it is the judgment of this court that you be committed to the Wisconsin Department of Corrections for the remainder of your life. You will serve a life sentence for first-degree intentional homicide with no possibility of parole. You will never walk free again. To this day, Rosalio Gutierrez's body has never been found. His family still searches. His children still ask. His mother still wakes from dreams hoping it was all a nightmare. But they now have one thing they didn't before: justice. Not because of a confession, not because of a body, but because the evidence, the behavior, the obsession, and the bravery of a teenage girl refused to let the truth stay hidden. Thank you for staying with us through this heartbreaking story. If this story moved you, subscribe to Mystery in Minutes. Help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers so we can continue telling stories like Rosalio's. Stories of truth, of resilience, and of justice fought for one painful step at a time. Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and remember, sometimes justice comes even without a body to bury.